Russia to withdraw troops from key city of Kherson.
Here's a summary of the article.
Your personal data will be processed and information from your device may be stored by, accessed by and shared with third-party vendors, or used specifically by this site or app. Some vendors may process your personal data on the basis of legitimate interest, which you can object to by managing your options below.
This post received a score of 81,000, with an upvote ratio of 92%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
That's going to be one hell of an EOD cleanup. You just know those bastards booby-trapped every loose board and hallway. In 2012 we were still recovering mines left by the Russians during their 88–89 retreat from Afghanistan. And not one or two, huge open areas packed with them.
Aren't they still clearing mines from the northern French border with Belgium? There's a reason we have modern treaties banning the use of mines.
A lot of that is from unexploded artillery shells from WWI. They weren't very reliable at the time, especially early on in the war, so many were just left in the ground once the war ended. For examples of mines you can look as places like Bosnia. Even now it's generally advised for tourists not to go walking around in the countryside, or at least not off of marked paths.
I have a friend from Bosnia who went back to visit recently. He told me one evening they were eating dinner at a relative's house and he heard the dull thud of an explosion. When he looked up to see if anyone else reacted, one of the relatives said, "Something set off a mine, probably a deer. Happens often." Then they shrugged and just went back to eating.
This sounds like something you would see in the first third of a horror movie?
Whereas actually this is the last part of the horror movie that was the Bosnian Wars.
This is incredible news and right before winter. It needs to be noted though, the river runs right behind the city. Russian troops will still be in range of the city with every heavy weapon they have, and I imagine they will shell it relentlessly over the winter.
But this also puts a lot of the Russian military in range of Ukrainian stuff, too.
In fact, it puts Russian artillery within range of Ukrainian artillery. The Western stuff shoots farther.
And more precise. And with satellite intel guidance.
God fights on the side with better artillery?
I once had a conversation with my sister where I mentioned to her that, in the U.S. military, at least, infantry is known as the Queen of Battle. The rest of the conversation went a little like this. Her, why Queen? Why not King of Battle? Me. Artillery is the King of Battle. Her, why? Me. Try asking anyone who has ever been on the receiving end of artillery.
It's tough to describe how fucking powerful artillery is until you've seen it in person. I remember on a field op to South Korea back in like 2015 my team was about half a km from the impact area of the howitzer 777s. Watching a hilltop become a smoldering crater and feeling the shockwave that far away is an ethereal experience.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.